Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is the February 2020 monthly prediction video. So super exciting. If you guys are new to pick a card readings, I'm going to give you guys a quick little rundown of how it works. So basically we have pile number 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you can take a moment to pause the video if you'd like to find the pile that you're the most drawn towards. And then once you're done choosing your pile, you can scroll down towards the comment box or the description box to find the timestamp that's linked to your specific card. So then you can skip ahead to your personal reading. If you guys like to pick with some crystals, we'll be popping some crystals on these cards in just a moment. So without further ado, I guess let's go ahead and do that, starting now. All right, so here are our crystal options. We have some black kyanite, we have desert rose, this is some spirit quartz, and then we also have some regular quartz over here. So take a moment, pause the video if you'd like, find the pile that you're the most drawn towards, and then you can skip ahead to your personal reading by scrolling down to that comment box or description box to skip ahead to your personal reading. So without further ado, let's hop right into this, starting now. All right, so pile number 1, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your February monthly prediction. So let's hop right into it and see what's in store for you guys, starting now. All right, so pile number 1, if you guys chose this pile, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the 6 of Swords, we have the King of Cups, we have Oppression, which is basically like the devil, and then we have the 4 of Crystals, but don't be scared of the devil. There's some good messages that underlie with this pile over here. So starting off with the 6 of Swords, I do feel like you guys are finally ending something pretty tough, especially since we have the devil over here as well. But the 6 of Swords indicates that you guys are currently, going into something smoother, going into something better. It means that you're coming out of something that was pretty tough. You're coming out of a situation that might have been pretty harsh, and it might have made a lot of growth happen for you. It's like you grew a lot, but you're finally having the courage to leave something behind. It could indicate that you guys are moving, switching, going through some sort of transition. I see a transition happening over here when we have the 6 of Swords. And then with the King of Cups, this is like you're finally getting in touch with your emotions and you're getting on top of your emotions, because this can indicate, especially with the other cards that we have over here, this is indicating that you guys might have gone through something that was pretty tough emotionally, but it made you so much stronger, and now you finally have the emotional willpower to go through this transition, to make these decisions, these tough decisions that you probably had to make. But I see you guys finally in February moving and transitioning and getting out of this. With the Oppression, this talks about that for a while, you might have felt like you were tied to something or you're chained to something that you couldn't release from. And finally, you guys are releasing from that. You finally don't have to worry about it. Things are finally pushing forward. Your thoughts are going and moving towards a better place as well. Because 6 of Swords, the swords always indicate your thoughts and your mind and the things you think about. And so this is really showing me that you guys are finally moving to a better place mentally as well in the month of February. So February is a great transition for getting mentally better, emotionally more powerful. This is like, I see some stepping into some really powerful energy. You guys are stepping up. And then with the 4 of Crystals over here, this can also indicate that, somehow there's still some baggage moving forward. There's still some things that you guys have to deal with, but at the same time, everything is getting so much better. This transition is so much better, although there's still some baggage that's, you're gonna have to deal with in the month of February, but things are transitioning to something so much better. So this is a huge transition phase that's happening for you guys right now. I also see that financially, when we look at the 4 of Crystals, which is basically the 4 of Pentacles, this is talking about right now, you're not exactly, money isn't bad, but it's not like super amazing either. It's right now staying at a plateau almost. Things are good. You're not worried about money, though there might be some planning for the future. 4 of Pentacles is like we're saving just in case, or we're saving so that we feel secure, and we're keeping our finances on the DL for a little bit so that we feel safer and secure. This is also moving to a safer and secure place. And so I also see in the month of February, you guys might be doing a transition that puts you in a safer and secure place, although yet you're still coming in with some baggage of maybe worrying about the future monetarily or job-wise or career-wise. You still have some concern to get through from the past, but it is going and flowing towards a better place as well. So I do see this nice transition happening, and I don't see you guys losing any money, and I don't see massive gains either, but it is a slightly more prosperous time, but it still comes with a bit of baggage from the past of like, am I really at a better place, or all that kind of jazz. So This is what I'm seeing for you guys over here. Love life, I do see, I'm seeing more of a self-love type of energy from this pile. If you guys are in a relationship, I don't see anything dramatically changing over here. I do see a lot of support from friends or a partner if you do currently have one, with the King of Cups. I don't see anything brand new coming into your life. This is more of a self-transition that you're going through at the moment, but I do see a lot of being surrounded by support, being surrounded by good energy, good people, with this King of Cups card over here. So you are feeling empowered. You're feeling at a better level than what you normally have in the past year. Things are moving up and moving forward, and I do see you being surrounded by some really good support. And we also have the card here of be bold and make the first move, and then we also have the end of a tough cycle. So this makes so much sense. So we have the cardinal moon over here, and then we also have the full moon in Capricorn. So the cardinal moon, be bold and make the first move. So I do feel like you guys are going through a transition phase, and I feel like this has been something that you guys have probably thought about for a while, and finally it's like you feel able to make this move. I don't know why I feel like turning this plant to have a bit of flower in the shot. I don't know why. I feel like its energy is just gonna add some good energy to the card. So like, we're just gonna throw that there. But anyway, so be bold and make the first move. I do feel like you guys finally had enough courage to make this transition that you guys are gonna be making in February. Even though, for a while you've been thinking about this, but finally the courage is there, finally the strength is there, finally the emotional abundance is there, and the support surrounding you is there to make this transition. And then we also do have the full moon in Capricorn, the end of a tough cycle approaches. And so this is talking about, of course, in the past, whenever we have the Devil card up here and then the Six of Swords, this is really talking about you guys ended something that might have been pretty rough. This can be a personal thing, so this can be, this can be love life, career, toxic friends, things like that, but it can also be personal in your mind, or like bad habits that you guys have had that are finally ending, and you're making a transition out of it because you finally have enough support and courage and emotional strength to get yourself out of that. It could also be like negative thoughts, mental things that you guys have been dealing with, and finally you're able to transition out of it. The end of a tough cycle approaches with the full moon in Capricorn over here. And then, be bold and make the first move. There's so many planets in Capricorn at the moment, by the way, some like harsh lesson sort of planets. So if you guys have any Capricorn in your chart, definitely you guys have been feeling some of like the tough things, the tough obstacles, the tough lessons that have been happening for the past year or two. So definitely that's been going on, but that is ending for you guys in this reading. We do have a few planets in Capricorn still for the next little while, but for you guys, I do feel like things are getting dramatically, significantly better. And this is all teaching you like such powerful strength for the future. So everything's like really, really good here. This is going to be a positive lesson in the future. Although, yes, it was a hard thing. I think you're gonna look back on this moment and see it as such a beautiful blessing because it made you the person you are today. So let's continue on and see what else we have. We also have Answer the Call and Warrior Woman. So of course, answering the call. I'm gonna move these cards up so you guys can hopefully see the bottom of them. Maybe I'll just put them up here. And that way you guys can see. So answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Again, I feel like you guys have been thinking about this transition for a little while, and now you finally have the courage and the strength to move forward with it. You finally have the courage and the strength to do it. And so again, I feel like you guys are being called somewhere. As we can see in the Six of Swords, like she's obviously being guided somewhere, she's being called somewhere, whereas before she didn't have the strength, but now it came out of nowhere, and it's almost like you're being guided to make this harder decision, but it's leading you towards such good things. And so you're now being guided out of a tougher situation, and I feel like you're being supported with amazing strength. We do have the Warrior Woman that says, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? So put all of your fears aside. What is the smartest decision? What is the best decision for you? And make your decision based on that. Let the fears go. Allow the emotional strength to come through for you. Allow the support from friends, family, other people to allow you to feel really good. The support of, even like your spirit guides, anything like that, and feel you know, supported by this and make your decision accordingly to what's best for you. But I feel like you guys know what that is. You guys have been being called towards it for some time now. And now is finally, February is the month of like that decision is made and it's happening. We also have the Temple of Lapis Lazuli. This card, every time I pick up this deck of cards, the Temple of Lapis Lazuli comes out. So this is gnarly. This is crazy. I keep seeing this card so much, and there's so many cards in this deck that it's such a wild coincidence that this one keeps coming up. So this really makes me think of Cleopatra. Cleopatra used to love using lapis lazuli as an eyeshadow. She used to crush up the stone lapis lazuli and use it as an eyeshadow. So this is lapis lazuli is very connected to ancient Egypt. It's very connected to Cleopatra and kind of this like warrior goddess energy, because Cleopatra, she was a very, you know, strong, independent type of woman. And so this is really, again, getting out that warrior woman energy, whether you're a male or female. I know some guys also watch my channel, and so you know, this is definitely just talking about the warrior energy. These cards more connect with warrior woman energy, but it still connects with you whether you're male or female. So just so you guys know, when I talk about like warrior woman or anything like that, just so you know, it's just because the cards say that, but it is connecting to both. So Temple of Lapis Lazuli, this is, again, connecting to that inner goddess energy, connecting to your self-worth, because Lapis Lazuli also has flecks of gold in it. And so this stone really talks about self-confidence, gaining the confidence. February is a huge, like, I'm stepping into my confidence, I'm stepping into my power, I'm stepping into my worth of what I'm worthy of, and then going after that and taking on that energy. And that's what's going to fill the emotional support that you guys are going to feel, the emotional empowerment that you guys are going to have in order to transition to a new stage of your life. And then we also, our last card is the Time Master. And so this card over here, this talks about timing is everything. You know, you're supposed to go through everything that you're supposed to. This was meant to be, and it couldn't be a more perfect time, because you guys might be looking at the situation and maybe you have like a bit of a notion of like, oh, I should have done this sooner, or, you know, maybe I could have done something if I waited, or anything like that. This is, just so you know, this card coming up means this is divine timing. This couldn't have been more perfect. You learned everything that you needed to. This is the perfect timing to be doing this and making this decision. Timing is everything, and timing is perfect. And you didn't waste anything. You didn't waste any time during this. This was so meant to be, and it will help you in the long run because of the person that you've become out of this. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number one, if you guys enjoyed this reading, definitely give it a big thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number two, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your February 2020 monthly prediction. So let's hop into this and find out what is in store for you guys, starting now. All right, so pile number two, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we start off with the Five of Wands. We have the Ace of Swords, Page of Wands, and Page of Cups. So what I'm seeing here with the Five of Wands, this is really telling me that there is either some like inner dialogue happening for you guys where you guys are unsure about something, and there's some debates happening about, should I do this, should I do that? I feel like it's also, you know, you're discussing with the other people in your life, and you're either sharing your ideas and they're sharing theirs, and it seems like there's some things that are requiring some figuring out, especially when we have the Ace of Swords next. This is talking about a change of mind and kind of almost stepping into a new way of thinking. And so with this new way of thinking, I feel like it's coming because of a certain inner dialogue, inner debate that you're having with yourself, or it could even be in your friend group or with your family that you're having this inner debate. And then we also have the Page of Cups and the Page of Wands. So Page of Cups and Page of Wands. And these two cards really indicate for me that you guys are getting a new inspiration. And so it could be, I'm getting the vibes from this, that you guys might change your mind a lot about what you want to do with your life. And you guys bounce between a few different things. Or maybe you have just a lot of things going on, and you're finally, I feel like, going to make a decision on one of those things when we have the Ace of Swords, because this is indicating a direct thought, a direct change of mind, a direct like thinking for the better, all that kind of jazz. Then we also have the, again, Page of Wands and Page of Cups, which indicates this new idea, this new inspiration. It's kind of like emotionally fulfilling, but it's at the beginning stages. And so I feel like you guys are starting something new in the month of February. This could be finally like, I'm going to do the dream that I've always been thinking about. I'm finally going to begin it. I'm going to start it. It's at the beginning stages, but it has potential. When we have the Page of Wands and Page of Cups, it has potential, but it's still at the beginning stages. And so it might not be perfect yet, and you might be a perfectionist. Whenever we have Five of Wands coming up with the Ace of Swords over here, I'm getting this kind of like perfectionist vibe where there might be some clashing or inner dialogue with yourself where you almost self-sabotage yourself, or you stand in your own way because you're like, oh, it's not perfect. Yes, it's the beginning of the idea, but I want it to be so perfect already. Therefore, I'm not ready to put it out there. I'm not ready to put my ideas out there. I'm not ready to like put them out into reality, into physical reality. I keep, putting my energy towards it, but then again, I don't want to actually release this or anything like that because I feel like there is this, you're holding yourself back because of it's not perfect yet, because it's still at the beginning stages. But what you guys need to learn, the lesson in this is like, you always start somewhere. It only grows if you start at the beginning. You can't just jump right into something and become a master of it already. You start somewhere. Everyone starts somewhere. So if you guys are starting something new and you expect to be putting out content or putting out an idea and portraying it the same way as someone who's been doing this for the past 10 years, of course it's going to be on a different level. So this is about getting over the perfectionist side of yourself and just knowing that everything takes time and sticking with it instead of changing your mind. So I feel like you guys might change your mind a lot about certain things because you guys have such high expectations for yourselves, which is a good thing, by the way. It's a good thing. But it ends up reflecting in a negative way when we're starting new projects because of the fact that we have this perfectionist quality. But it ends up being a good thing because if we learn how to stick to one thing, that perfectionist quality will help you become a master of something. Because if you didn't have that perfectionist quality, of course, if you keep doing something, you're just going to be okay with it being mediocre and it's never going to be great. So it's a good thing to have this, but what you need to learn is how to understand that everything starts at a certain beginning, and you can start there, but just keep going along with it until you get to the mastery stage, and then you're going to be pretty happy with yourself. But then again, the perfectionist quality is always going to step in, and you're always going to want to become better and better and better, and that's a good thing. That's never a bad thing. That's a really good thing. So this is what I'm seeing here. Let's see what the other cards tell us. So we also have the full moon in Taurus. Your dreams need a practical plan. That fits in so well. And then we also have the balsamic moon, a time for healing. And so these two cards play into this very, very well. I'm going to start off with the full moon in Taurus over here. This is really talking about, again, yes, your dreams need a practical plan. So you need to understand that every dream starts somewhere, and maybe the reason why you haven't really completed anything yet, or maybe you have, but just recently I feel like there's this energy of not being able to stick to one thing and constantly changing your mind because you feel like it's not good enough. Therefore, you feel you almost self-sabotage by saying, I can't do this because mine's not as good as everyone else's. But the thing is, you just began it. So give yourself some time, have a little bit of patience. Your dreams need a practical plan. So the full moon in Taurus is saying, you need to stick to this every single day. You need to do this every single day if you want to get good at it. You can't just jump into something expecting to have the talent of a lifetime and it's just going to be amazing. I mean, all of us have to work on our talents. Even if we're born with a natural talent, we all still aren't masters of it until we put the time and effort into it. So this is still saying, if you have a dream and you have this inspiration to do something, you have a calling to do something, or something inspires you, stick to it until you get really good at it. Full moon in Taurus, any earth sign really talks about sticking to it. Doing it every day. It's slow moving. Taurus is slow moving, so this might feel even slow moving at first. It might feel like, you have to do a couple mundane things and maybe it's not up to your par, but the thing is you'll learn as you go and you'll learn how to make it up to your par. But you only learn how to do that if you keep doing it until the point of where, you come across these epiphanies of like, oh, yes, that's how they do it. That's what I need to do. So you're only going to learn it if you keep doing it. So your dreams need a practical plan. You need to stick to it. You need to start doing it every day. Also, the balsamic moon, this is saying that there is sort of a natural talent here as well, because the balsamic moon is like right before a new moon. So it's the oldest moon in its cycle before the new moon. It's been around the longest time. So it's saying you guys are an old soul, and this might be why you have this perfectionist quality about you guys, because you're an old soul and you're used to being a master at something. But then again, you're in a new cycle of life where you haven't done these things as this person that you are right now. And so there's this irritation of, it's not as good as I want it to be, but it's because you're in a new body, you're in a new suit. And of course, when we get born into our new lives, we don't have memories of our old lives. And so right now, you know, you still have the emotion of like feeling like you are supposed to be great at things, but you haven't put the time or effort in this life yet. So this is what the balsamic moon is talking about. So go through a time of healing this. And, you know, balsamic moons, anyone who's an old soul, they have a lot of like karma to get through this lifetime, and they're here more for, you know, their own, like clearing up the karma of the past, and then also just, you know, living for experience. And so this is, allow this to be an experience. Do what you're being called to do. You can do anything this lifetime. Do what you're being called to do. Heal the idea that you need to be a perfectionist right away. Everything takes time to become a master. So allow yourself that, give yourself that time, and stick to it. Because the only way to become a master is if you stick to that thing and you keep doing it. So let's see what else we have here. We do also have the no card. Wait, postpone. I thought that said Post Malone for a minute. It says wait, postpone, pause, say no. And then we also have share your voice. Okay, that was a little funny. So with these two cards, the no card over here, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Give yourself some time. This is like giving me the vibes of maybe wanting to rush something, and this card coming up is like stop rushing, wait, postpone, pause, say no. If you're wanting to give up on something, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Think about, what do you really want? What really inspires you? Put a practical plan to it. Share your voice. Share your inner feelings. If you want to do something, do it. And also start, this card is really telling me that if you guys have been working on a project and you're too scared to show it to the world, this card right here is telling you to share it to the world. Come out of the cave, persecution, expression. So this is finally sharing your voice. Share what you've been working on. Get it out there. If you guys are scared of criticism, welcome the criticism instead, because this is what's going to help you become a master at your craft or whatever you guys are working on, whatever, like show it to people. You don't have to show it to everyone maybe, but at least go to your friends, your family, ask for their honest opinion. Go to somebody who you know is going to be honest with you and isn't just going to sugarcoat something and tell you that you're amazing at it. Go to someone who's going to give you an honest opinion so that you can heal those things, so that you can perfect those things. Balsamic moon is all about perfecting those things. And of course, you're born as a perfectionist, so your whole ideal is to perfectionize something, but you need support. You need also, you know, constructive criticism to perfect these things so that you can grow and learn and become a master at these things. So start sharing it. Put it out there. Get yourself out there. Sorry, I totally was like scratching the area of my shirt where my mic is, and that probably totally picked up and sounded really weird. Or maybe not. Who knows? But maybe it did. I'm assuming it did. The next card that we have is Goddess of 10,000 Names. And so, again, this is telling me that you guys are an old soul. This is endless emanations of the priestess. And so, you know, you as one person, you've been through many lifetimes. Balsamic Moon's telling me you're an old soul. This is also meaning that you've already mastered a million things. And so, of course, in this lifetime, you know, you come into a lifetime and you're no longer a master at things, but your soul somehow feels like it should be, because obviously you have mastered a lot of things before. And so yes, there's this perfectionist quality of always wanting to change your mind and skip to a new thing because you're like, wait a minute, I'm not good at this. What? And it's unexpected, and therefore you don't want to put the time in. But you have to. Goddess of 10,000 Names. You have so much potential in you. You know, you fit so many different molds. You can almost do anything. You're called to so many different things that it might be even hard to choose one different thing, because you're like, I don't want to stick to just one. You want to live it all. Because you're such an old soul, you've already lived so many things, and you know how great so many different things are. Therefore, a lot of things inspire you. Pick one, become a master at it in this lifetime. And maybe pick a bunch. You know, maybe having a bunch is good, but put the time in to become good at these things. Then we also have upper world, and also give yourself a chance to share that. Just because you're not a perfection master at it yet, that's okay. This upper world card is telling me that you guys, this is really showing me that you guys, there's a lot of inspiration here. There's a lot of potential again, and it's about sticking to it in order to make it happen. Stick to this. Allow your wings to spread. Allow yourself to shine, allow yourself to accept constructive criticism, all these different things to become the master of it. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys, pile number 2. Hope you guys enjoyed this reading. This is what I see for you guys. This is the main theme of the month of February. Just quickly to touch on other things, I feel like that's going to be the main theme And I do feel like you're gonna have people around you that are telling you, so it might be your partner, your friends, your family that are telling you to share your voice, and I feel like this is the main theme that's happening. So yeah, that's really all that's really coming up here for you guys, and this is what I see for the month of February for you guys, pile number 2. So if you guys enjoyed this reading, definitely give it a big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 3, if you guys chose this pile, this is going to be your February 2020 monthly prediction. So let's hop right into it, starting now. All right, so pile number 3, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we have the 5 of Swords over here, we have the Ace of Cups, King of Wands, and the Page of Swords. So starting off first with the 5 of Swords, this can sometimes indicate that there's some untrustworthy things happening around us. So this can mean that there's ulterior motives behind the people that we're with. There's some secrets going on that we don't know about that we're gonna end up finding out about throughout the month. So I do see something being revealed to you, or some suspicions kind of like happening through the month of February. With this card, it can mean that someone's not being totally honest with us. It can mean that someone's actually taking advantage of us, has other motives that they're not being fully honest about, that kind of jazz. And so yes, that doesn't sound super, super fun, but there's some other cards in here that are actually quite good. So I do think there's a good balance of, you know, some stuff that we're dealing with, and then also some other stuff that ends up being quite good. So again, 5 of Swords, not exactly the most fun card to come up, but it's fine. I do feel like this is kind of going to sort throughout the month. The Ace of Cups over here is showing me that, you know, there is an emotional fulfillment in the month of February. I do feel like there's like really good potentials for certain things. There might be a love interest that's currently growing, feeling really good. It could be with a fire sign man, since we do have the King of Wands over here. So I do see this kind of like love interest going, but then again, there's like this mistrust or misuse, or like feelings of worrying about what other people are saying, worrying about what other people are saying behind your back, that kind of thing. But it does look like there is some newfound interest with a fire sign type of man over here. And then with the Page of Swords at the end, this is like really talking about questions, confrontations, things that are, you know, kind of jabbing at us, where we feel like people's opinions are really trying to come through, and we're feeling really good, we're feeling really happy. I think for you, there's like this emotional fulfillment, but then again, there's some questions happening, because there's this thing that's kind of almost like poking and prodding at your door, being like, hey, like, you know, there's opinions happening from other people with the Page of Swords. So there's opinions coming through, and they might feel a bit judgmental, because the Page of Swords, like, it can come across in a judgmental way, or it can come across in a bit of a cold way, where we don't really feel like there is, you know, maybe or helping, loving criticism. This is more of like a very direct, honest kind of criticism. And then we also do have that 5 of Swords. So this is kind of feeling a bit uncomfortable. There's an uncomfortable feeling, but yet it's surrounded by this really good feeling. So it's a bit of a juxtaposition. There's a really good thing happening for us. There's a really good thing going on. We're feeling quite emotionally fulfilled. And this could even be, it doesn't even have to be about a man. This can also be about, or a woman, because I always cater this towards women, because it is mostly women that watch my channel, but I know there's a few of you men that watch my channel too, so I want to cater it towards you guys as well. So it could be like a new love interest for you guys, man or woman, but there's also like, this could also be indicating that there's this newfound inspiration. There's a really good inspiring idea that we have. Maybe we're feeling really good about our business that we have, or our career. Someone has a really interesting engine outside right now. There's some sort of like moped or something. But anyway, this is like, there's some sort of like divine guidance here. Like, we feel like we're meant to be here in the position that we're in, and we feel really good about it. But then again, there's this outside judgment, because these cards are on the outside over here of this reading, and then here in the center, which is more like in the center of you, you're feeling really good, but there's this outside like criticism, or outside judgment, or outside worries that we have. This can also be indicating that we're not directly getting judgment or anything like that, but we have in our heads that we're really worried about something, or we're worried about what people might think of us, or we're worried about what, you know, other people that we have to meet. Maybe there's some social anxiety. Maybe there's some anxiety about, again, what other people think about us. There's anxieties about worrying about other people's thoughts and opinions of you, but yet you feel pretty good. I feel like you're doing what makes you happy, but you're worried about what people are thinking of it. So it comes along with this sort of energy, this sort of feeling. But I do feel like something really solid's happening over here. I feel like there's this inspiration that's coming and being fulfilled. I feel like there's light surrounding this thing that you're doing, the excitement, the passion that you have. There's a light around it. As we see like this King of Wands, he's surrounded with this light. There's this good energy here. But we do also have the moon. And so I do want to point out that the moon over here, this indicates that there's still some unknown stuff working in the background of this. There's still some stuff that we haven't quite figured out and that hasn't been revealed to us yet. So keep an eye out about the situation and about what you're attracting as well. Because even when you're having feelings of like worries or anything like this, you actually end up attracting it to you. So I do want to point out for you guys, focus on the good instead of about all the bad things that are happening. And of course, always take it into consideration, because sometimes we're being warned about certain things, all that kind of jazz. But with this moon over here, there's this unknown energy that has like a veil up that we're not really seeing. So this is really indicating like use your intuition in the month of February. Why are you feeling all these different emotions? Why do you feel so good yet so worried about other people's opinions? Why is that? And which one is the illusion? Is it other people's opinions that are the illusion, or is it yourself that has an illusion, or is it a bit of both? Is it a good balance of both? Really use your intuition to tap in why you have this conflicting worry right now, because this is very, like the center here is so good, and then the outside, it's like you're worried about something on the outside of you. All right, let's get some more cards on here to find out what's happening. So we also have the quarter moon, adjustments are required. And then we also have the full moon in Scorpio, it's time to release negativity. So adjustments are required with the third quarter moon. Again, I'm kind of feeling this from this vibe anyway that we had from over here. So this is really talking again about, yes, adjustments are required. This, like, you feel so good, yet there's such a worry on the outside, or there's such a judgment or criticism on the outside that you guys are either worried about or is actually happening and coming in through for you guys. So again, you're gonna have to adjust something in order to make this work, because right now there's something hidden. Maybe you're not revealing something full when we have this Five of Swords, or other people are not being told like a full thing. So it's like there's this untouched, unknown area that I feel like you need to adjust in order to accommodate, in order to fully understand the situation, in order for other people to fully understand the situation. And I think you're going to need to use your intuition on this to really actually see what is real and what is not. Because there's some sort of like veil that's up, that's being a bit of an illusion. Because obviously both of these can't be right. Of course, our universe is dualistic, so we always have the good and the bad, and the light and the dark. But in this particular situation, it's very teeter-totter between them both. And so I feel like adjustments are going to need to be required. And then also full moon in Scorpio, this talks about truth being uncovered. Scorpio is all about digging up the dirt. So February will be a month of digging up that dirt and releasing the negative stuff and actually using your intuition to decipher what is real or what is not. So getting huge vibes about that in February for you guys. And then we also have the card, the Crumbling, and then we also have the Pleiades. And so with these two cards, the Crumbling over here, this reminds me a lot of the Tower card in actual tarot, but this is an oracle deck that also has this card that's very much similar to the Tower. And this is talking about what are you clinging on to. But this is also talking about crumbling of something. So something I feel like needs to be revealed in the month of February for you guys. And I feel like this is more of a personal journey of you guys digging up the truth behind a situation and then allowing the falsehoods to crumble away. So this is allowing the lies to fade away, the lies to crumble away. And what are you clinging on to? So maybe you're clinging on to a hope for something that is based around illusions. And and it might not all be illusions, but there might be some in there that you guys need to swift through and dig up and find out what is a falsehood and what is actual truth behind the situation, and allow that beauty to be revealed. Because right now we have this tower in front of us, as you can see, and then behind the tower is this beautiful field of flowers and gorgeous stuff, but then there's this lightning at the top, and it's like we need to crumble away what we've built up currently. We need to crumble away our current perspective to allow the truth to be revealed, to allow everything to flow better, and allow all these flowers to grow in a good way rather than based on not accepting or not wanting to see the truth or not wanting to live in the truth. And then we also have the Pleiades over here. Double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. Double mission is like really standing out to me here because we have this dualistic nature here in this reading at the moment. So double mission, there's two things going on. There's a personal mission and an outer mission, and I feel like, there's some people that see the bad in it, but yet you see the good, but there's a double thing. I feel like it's what you're doing and the situation that you're currently dealing with in the month of February, there's good and bad in it. And I feel like you need to open up your intuition, again, with channeling, with the moon over here. You guys need to open up your intuition to really see what is truth and what is not. And you need to crumble away some of the things that you're maybe clinging on to in order to see it. But there is a divine purpose behind this. So the Pleiades card coming up, there's a divine purpose here. We also have the Divine Sisterhood card, which is the community of all spiritual sisters and brothers of the light. So this card over here, this is like really accept everyone. This is a card of coming together, and instead of just being on your own and thinking that everything's good, I'll take in what other people are saying, allow it to come full circle. This card is talking about uniting, so unite both perspectives instead of letting this become such a dualistic, you're right, you're wrong. Add it all together. What's the full thing here with this card? Allow this picture to be painted fully, and then crumble away the old. Allow, release the negativity, do the adjustments accordingly, and things will go well if you do it this way, by allowing everything to come together. Always destruction happens when we do major splits in society, and we do half and half. Things always end up crumbling, and we always have to learn to come together at the end of it. So this is the divine lesson happening here. We also have wind. So this is like you're really being pushed in this. This is somehow you feel like you ended up here. Somehow it just keeps flowing in this direction, and you almost can't help it. The wind, messages are carried in the wind. I feel like you guys are going to be hearing certain things. This is communication. Wind is the air sign, which deals with communication. That's Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And in the wind, in that air sign, this is where we have communication, where we have thought. And so February is going to be huge in communication, thought, messages coming in from people. This is like a lot of people sharing their opinion with you, even if it's unsolicited. So the wind is always like it carries the messages through. We get bombarded with them. And it gets a little bit shifty and confusing when we're stuck in the middle of it, because it almost feels like we're in a tornado of many different opinions and a difference in how we feel, because it's always like the hot and the cold. And the tornadoes, as we can see in this card, it looks pretty shifty. It's like almost creating a tornado over here. So this is like, tornadoes are made because hot and cold fronts come together very quickly, and they're such opposites that it creates a whole spiral. And so right now, your life is kind of almost going into a spiral because of this disassociation with other people and the outer world, and maybe denying a little bit of your intuition on this. So really start to listen to that intuition. I think your intuition holds the secret to all of this. If you crumble away some of the false hopes that you might have that are attached to this, and do the adjustments accordingly. So according to, like finance, abundance, I do feel like things are going well for you. I don't feel like there's too much to worry about, but it feels a little bit like a spiral because for some reason there's a situation. This could deal with work. This could deal with love and romance. This could deal with certain family members that are around you. This could deal with maybe even health issues and stuff like that, kind of maybe coming up, and maybe you're wanting to deny it because you feel okay, but maybe, there's other things that we need to look at. So it could even be dealing with that. It depends on your personal situation. So if there's anything that you guys are wondering about, or anything that you guys are getting like an intuitional hit about, listen to that, listen to the messages that you're getting in the wind, listen to that intuition, and just play it safe. Just play it safe in the month of February. Just allow things, do everything in the right way. Do everything that, release the negativity, allow it to be uncovered, and just be good. And everything will be okay. As long as you guys play this correctly, you play it fair, you play it by encompassing everything, giving love to all, with that Divine Sisterhood card. This is really about like accepting all and doing things, in the right way. What is correct? think about what that means. And as long as you play it in that way, everything's going to be good. But again, this is like a divine thing. So again, I do feel like everything is going to be good on the outer half of everything. Once this all blows through, everything is going to be fine. But yeah, definitely listen to your intuition, stuff like that. So that's what I'm seeing for you guys for the month of February. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so pile number 4, my last pile. This is going to be your February 2020 monthly prediction. So let's find out what's happening for you in the month of February, starting now. All right, so pile number 4, this is what I'm seeing for you guys. So we have the Akashic Records, we have the Empress, the Six of Crystals, and the Wheel of Fortune. So let's hop right into what all of this is. So first, right off the bat, the Empress and the Six of Crystals are really sticking out to me. So the Six of Crystals is basically the Six of Pentacles in regular tarot. But this Empress over here, let's start with this. So this is really making me feel like maybe you guys have started this New Year's resolution where you guys are really going through some self-transformation. This is almost like, this can talk about the birth of a new idea, the birth of a whole new like start, a whole new life. So maybe you guys really feel like 2020 is going to be a completely different year compared to any of the others, or at least maybe you're even hoping for that and trying to make that a reality and trying to do a lot of changes in your life at the moment. The Empress is also really telling me that this is a time of like, February is going to be some self-care. This is some self-rejuvenation. Also I feel like you guys might be changing up something around your physical reality. This can also be like, this is either like redecorating. This is like a feminine energy change. So somehow your femininity is going through a transformation, and you're birthing a new era of femininity for yourself. So this can be changing the way that you look with your outfits, your makeup. It can also be changing around your decorating in your home or your bedroom, things like that. Wanting to make things a bit more comfortable. This is also self-comfortability as well. So it could be going through even a time of really wanting to go through a lot of self-care and giving yourself some rejuvenation time, some spa nights, some time to relax. I feel like you guys are really feeling a calling towards more self-reflection, spiritual awakenings, things like that, especially with the Akashic Records card. So I'm going to dip into that for a little bit. So Akashic Records is really telling me this is a massive spiritual awakening type of card. So you guys are definitely diving into your spirits, your well-being. I feel like you guys are doing a whole transformation and wanting to embrace the more spiritual and also like the more feminine energy. So the feminine energy deals more with the moon and is a bit more unphysical. So the feminine energy is the more spiritual, non-physical energies. And so I feel like you guys are really tapping into that in the month of February and really wanting to get more in depth with it and more in touch with it. And we also have the Six of Crystals, and this deals with a lot of like adding some balance into your life. I feel like you guys might have gone through the past few years where everything might have felt a bit out of balance. It might have felt unfair, or like you weren't evening the playing fields. Things felt somehow maybe a little bit even disoriented, or like, I don't know why that word's coming to my mind in particular, because the Six of Pentacles doesn't really deal with disorientation, but for some reason that word is really coming to me at the moment. So this is like feeling off key a bit. Things were feeling off key in the past, and now finally in February it's like really wanting to balance it out and go through a more uplifting time and bring in those really heightening good energies, giving time for yourself, detoxifying, de-stressing, evening out the playing fields, getting back in rhythm, in tone. And then we also do have the Wheel of Fortune over here, and this is telling me like this is the cycles of life, and I feel like this is awakening to the cycle of life and how your role really plays into how this wheel turns. The Wheel of Fortune is like, yes, what do we get? But we only ever get based on how we spin the wheel. And so although sometimes we don't know exactly where it's going to land, we can use our intuition to really show us like, oh, if I spin it about this much, maybe I'll land on the thing that I'm actually desiring. And so we start to learn that in life. And I feel like for you guys, you're starting to enter this realization, this awakening, and this balance of like, I need to start incorporating, different modalities and different methods into my lifestyle to start to attract and start to live and create the life that I want. This is about creating the life that you want. These are birthing some new ideas, having hatching some new ideas. The Empress is all about like birth and stuff, and that's why I'm using that certain saying of like birthing new ideas. So this is like, we're finally learning that we grow our own crops. Whatever seeds we plant, that's what grows in our field. And so this awakening and this realization is really coming to you in the beginning of this year, and especially in the month of February. I feel like you're finally implementing this, and you are seeing those seeds beginning to grow. You're seeing this balance beginning to take place and the difference that it's having on your life. And I feel like you're almost transforming into a new person because of this. So let's see what we have in these other cards. So we have communication is key with the new moon in Gemini, and we have a personal issue reaches resolution with the full moon in Cancer. So this is really interesting. Gemini comes right before Cancer, and we have Gemini and Cancer, and they're also very blue. So these cards are definitely talking about communication, especially since we also do have Gemini, and that is the card of communication. But then the blues, these light blues, deal with the throat chakra of communication again. So I'm going to talk about the full moon in Cancer first. A personal issue reaches resolution. So this is like, yes, our life, was a certain way, and we're finally waking up and realizing how to change that. So we finally get our answers. We finally reach those resolutions. Full moon in Cancer is also like we reach our emotional peak. We reach emotional fulfillment. So I do feel like this, you guys are feeling like filled, and it's this emotion that the Empress is giving right here with the hands and just feeling like fulfilled. Everything feels good. It's like that kind of like abundance sort of vibe and feeling. And then this communication is key. I do feel like, there's a new way you almost carry yourself. There's a new, you've switched to this, you're still the same person, but you've almost switched faces, because that's almost like what the Gemini is. And so on this card, we even have these like differences in their faces. And I feel like you guys have switched to being the better version of yourself. And that's the message that I'm really getting in here. And this is almost like a new way you're carrying yourself, a new way you're speaking to people. You have new values. This is almost like renewing your value system as well. All good things. And we also have the Leap card. And we also have Imrama. So with these cards, Leap, you go first, the universe will catch you. And then Imrama, where are you being called to journey to? And so again, I do feel like this is a spiritual awakening where you guys are, yes, you're leaping into, and you're almost giving your trust to the universe. This is a huge spiritual awakening where you guys are feeling very called to these certain places to do certain things. Even here, it's like she's almost like being activated in the background. This is like, you're being awakened, and you're realizing your role and your ability to create your own life and the seeds that you plant, all that jazz. And so you're literally leaping into a new life, a new lifestyle. And you are almost being called towards it, and you realize your power of creation. You realize the power of like your own manifestations and your own role play in your reality, and realizing that you're in control of it. And so now you're realizing how endless these possibilities are, and you're finally stepping into the role of doing that and really making it a reality for you. This is massive. Like, maybe you guys have even been through spiritual awakenings before, but now you're going through even another one where it's just even bigger. Massive stuff happening. Then we also have the Knot of Isis, energetic stabilization with the Buckle of the Beloved. So this is like, you're really realizing again and implementing the power that you have. And so again, stabilization is like evening out the playing fields. You're finally, getting into a routine, getting into a role. The stabilization is definitely happening energetically, physically, everything. And this is like realizing you're doing it with love. And this is like really knotting in the new and putting them in permanently. The Knot of Isis is making me feel like this is a very permanent switch of realizing that this is me. This is a very permanent realization that's going to stick with you. And this isn't just a temporary, like, small transition. This is whatever you plan right now is going to be the new you. And you're going to be really realizing the real parts of yourself, where you really belong, the real purpose, that kind of stuff. And then we also have the Serpent card over here. And so this card coming out is telling me that, yes, the twists and turns of life, every single twist and turn that you've had has brought you right here. There's divine purpose behind this. As we can see, the snake is very twisty. It's a double-headed snake as well on this specific card, or it's just two snakes together. I can't really tell at the moment. It does look like one snake. Yeah, they're definitely connected. So this is like realizing that whatever direction you face, you are creating. And I feel like, you know, you were going this way before and you've switched and now you're going this way. It's almost like the double face that we have on the New Moon and Gemini card. It's like you're still this person, but you're just switching your perspective. This is a switch of perspective and realizing how much power you really do have, owning that power instead of just going with the flow of where the universe is telling you to go. This is finally being like, I'm taking control. Now you're switching to the other part of yourself where you realize your potential, your true power, your true influence, your true power of creation and manifestation. And so this card's really talking about the full cycle of life. As you can see, it's like the full circle, and it's finally you're embracing the entirety of you, rather than just living in one section, rather than just living in, you know, what you've been told. You're finally encompassing everything of who you are, encompassing all of your ideals, your own beliefs. Your entire being is like being fully accepted, being fully rounded out right now, and becoming fully you. So in February, this is all about becoming fully you. I see a lot of abundance as well. So the Empress also talks about, you know, coming into more financial abundance. Six of Pentacles also talks about that. So this is almost like we're being gifted some money as well. So it could be being gifted some money, getting a promotion, getting a raise. Maybe we own our own business and somehow more money is just coming in for us and we're feeling at a better place. So I do see more money coming in for you guys and more abundance happening in February as well, on top of this massive spiritual awakening. So that is what I'm seeing for you guys. Pile number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this reading. If you did, don't forget to give it a really big thumbs up for me. Hit that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.